Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday morning service. A little bit warmer where we are, but it's still very cold, and just pray that you are safe and warm wherever you are. We are talking this morning about gender-based violence. The Methodist Church of Southern Africa has mounted a big campaign against gender-based violence, and we have been asked to speak on the topics and themes for the next few weeks. I do hope you've had time to read the readings which I sent out yesterday: Deuteronomy 22, 25 to 27, and 2 Samuel 13, 1 to 23, which of course is the story of Amnon and Tamar, and the rape of Tamar. And Amnon and Tamar were the sister and brother, and they were the children of David, king of Israel. And we speak today about violence, gender-based violence within the home. It is a terrible reality, consequences of which are devastating for all. Gender-based violence in the family affect the balance of the family, within the family, sometimes forever. Victims are more often women and children, the elderly and the sick. And I'm sure that we all know someone, somewhere, who has suffered from some form of abuse. Society is becoming more and more aware of it. And during the time of the virus, during the time of the lockdown, there has been so much more abuse because families have been locked together in their homes. Women and children are at real risk from physical and psychological and sexual abuse. The statistics are shocking, to say the least. People find it difficult to talk about it for obvious reasons. But the point is, and a very important point is, that it has to be publicized. Silence is not an option. The worst part is that the abuser and the abused often live under the same roof. Let's look at domestic violence and many forms it comes in: physical violence, harassment, emotional and psychological, intimidation, humiliation, economic factors, verbal abuse, and many more. Let's take a look at a profile of a typical abuser. He or she seeks to control the victim by building relationships of dependence and submission through physical and psychological abuse. Abusers often suffer from low self-esteem and low self-confidence. Abusers often have unrealistic expectations and demands of the family members. Abusers often have low tolerance levels, and they will often have difficulty in controlling their emotions. They are hypersensitive, and they don't take responsibility for their actions, and they often suffer from personality disorders. And now let's look at the profile of victims. Victims often suffer from personal insecurities. They find it difficult sometimes to make decisions and reliant on others to be supportive. Abused people often are fearful of expressing disagreement and they are often uncomfortable when alone. And as we turn to the biblical story of Amnon and Tamar, we see so many of the characteristics of an abuser. And if you go back to the passage and compare it to what I'm saying, you will see what I mean. The men in the story, David and Amnon and Absalom, are the abusers, and many of the characteristics are to be seen in them. While Tamar seems to be a young girl who merely obeyed the instructions of her father David, and she got raped for her obedience. The psychological impact and the long-term consequences for both Tamar and her brother Amnon as a result of the rape were devastating. Their lives were ruined. And so it is like that today. How many lives, how many families' lives are suffering today? Lives are totally destroyed. Many women and children have lost their lives. And so finally, those abused must speak out. Silence is not an option. Our fathers have such an important role in the family. We are there to be the pivot in the family, and we have such an important place. And perpetrators of abuse need to be brought to book, and we must not be fearful about publicizing them and taking them to the police or whatever needs to be done. And I'd like to end with a prayer from Richard Raw. O great love, thank you for living and loving in us and through us. May all that we do flow from our deep conviction with you and all beings. Help us become a community that shares each other's burdens and the weight of glory. Listen to our heart longings for the healing of the world. Doctors and hospital staff around the world on the front line of the fight against the virus. Knowing that you are hearing us better than we are speaking, we offer these prayers in all the holy names of God. Amen. Friends, have a wonderful Sunday. Hope it is warmer, sunny day. Keep warm and safe, and may God bless you all. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.